Hello, my dear boys and girls. Today I am going to read with you Mulk Raj Anand's interesting short story, The Lost Child, and it is for the fourth day. However, let us read the story again, and I am trying my level best to give you the word meanings as well as the sentence meanings and the probable questions as far as practicable. Please don't skip the video. Just listen to me very attentively, meticulously, and follow me very carefully. And today is the fourth day, and I shall take another day to complete this story. For example, let us read. There was a roundabout in full swing. It is the general scene or site of a fair site or fairground that a roundabout, or which may be called a merry-go-round, will move on and on in a roundabout way. And it is the greatest pleasure to all the fair lovers. There was a roundabout in full swing. It was moving round and round in just in a speed, in a full swing. Men, women, and children carried away in a whirling motion. So, the people who went to the fairground rode on the merry-go-round, and they were being carried about in a whirling motion. That means in a roundabout movement, and they were stricken. That means they were shouting in a shrill voice, they were screaming and cried with dizzy laughter. And they were laughing steadily, and they burst out into laughter in an unbalanced way. Dizzy laughter. They could not prevent themselves from laughter as they were moving round and round in the merry-go-round. The child watched them intently. Intently means without taking away his eyes from that scene, from the merry-go-round. That means very attentively. Intently means very attentively. The child was staring at the movement of the merry-go-round. And then he made a bold request. Now, he could not prevent himself from expressing his desire to ride in the merry-go-round, and he made a bold request, a courageous request to his parents. I want to go on the roundabout. That means I want to have a ride in the roundabout. Please, father, mother. Now, he was completely tempted to ride in the merry-go-round, and he could not control his greed, his desire, his wish from moving or enjoying the merry-go-round. There was no reply, but he didn't get any answer from his parents. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there. And it is the climax of the story. It is the extreme point of the story. He was requesting his parents. He was placing his demand in front of his parents, but without any answer. What happened? They were not there. His parents were missing from the spot. Ahead of him, he turned to look on either side. That means the boy was in search of his parents and he was looking here and there, looking forward and behind, everywhere in search of his parents. They were not there, but his parents could not be traced. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. The boy looked behind, but he could not find out his parents behind them. I am just giving you the word meanings as well as the sentence meanings, the gist of the story, and it is a group teaching. Remember it. A deep, full cry rose within his dry throat. His throat dried because a little child could not find out his parents. He was panic-stricken, he was frightened, and he was bewildered what to do. So his throats dried. And a deep cry rose up to his throat. And within a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood. And suddenly, in a violent movement, he ran forward in search of his parents, crying in real fear. It is real fear because if he is lost in the fear and if he fails to find out his parents in the fear, what awaits him is unknown to the child. Naturally, it is a matter of fear, real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes. He was calling again and again, mother, father. But he could not check his tears. Tears were rolling down his cheeks, hot and fierce. Tears were rolling down his cheeks. He became hot. Here, hot means he was feeling an uncertainty in his mind and a frightening situation. That is fierce. His flushed face was convulsed. His flushed face means here his reddened face. His face became reddish in anger, in uncertainty. His flushed face convulsed. Here convulsed means he was totally or entirely upset, convulsed with fear. Panic-stricken, here being is omitted. That means being panic stricken, being frightened, he ran to one side first. The boy, the child, ran to one side first in search of his parents, then to the other. That means to and fro, here and there, he was in search of his parents. Hither and thither, that means here and there, in all directions, from one end to the other, from right to left, left to right, frontward and backward, every side. But there was no sign of his parents. Knowing not where to go, but the child was bewildered, was at a loss. He couldn't understand where to go in search of his parents. However, he called again, "Mother, Father." He wailed. That means he burst out into wailing. He burst out into crying. That is, he wailed. He lamented. He mourned. His yellow turban came untied. The child was tying a turban around his head, and his yellow turban came loose, went loose, and his clothes became muddy. Dust and tears make his body, dust and tears made his body muddy. It is the humiliating situation, humiliating condition of the child who has lost his parents on the fairground. Clear? Having run to and fro, that means here and there, in a rage of running for a while, that means he was anger stricken. He was in a position that it is quite impossible, or it was quite impossible for him to find out his parents. Clear? He stood defeated. That means he had nothing to do. As if he was defeated in a battle for searching his parents in the crowded fair ground. His cries suppressed into sobs. Gradually his wailing, his lamentation, his mourning suppressed into sobs. And at little distances on the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. His filmy eyes means his eyes, which were full of tears and with which he could not see the people, the fair distinctly or vividly. So it is called filmy look, indistinct look, not vivid look. Clear? Through his filmy eyes, men, women talking. He saw with his dizzy eyes that some people in the fairground were talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes. He was in search of the bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother, because his parents might have worn bright yellow clothes, and he wanted to have the glimpse of the bright yellow clothes. And it is the psychology. You see that it is the climax of the story. Now the boy is not in search of toys, not in search of the articles available in the fairground. His only concern is about his missing parents. Clear? But there was no sign of his father and mother among those people. But among those people who were talking, he failed to find out the yellow patches of clothes, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. And it is the general scene of a fair, and the people whom the boy could see were engaged in laughing and talking, and they were enjoying the fair too much. And it is the climax of the story. And tonight I am ending here, and the next day I will complete the story, I promise. However, next day I shall complete and I shall give you many questions. I hope that I am able to give you word meanings, sentence meanings, synopsis, etc. My dear boys and girls, just watch the video, and if you can't understand anything, please go to inbox and ask me questions, and I shall be highly glad and happy. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Stay safe, stay below, avoid mass gathering, use hand sanitizer and mask. Thanking all of you. Good night.